No, girl. You're supposed to say it's your stage. Only then will you be able to ascend to the level of Space Fruit God. My god, what has anime and tokusatsu done to my brain?
But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really planning on commenting about this upcoming series until it actually started airing, but I had some free time with Aqua Trip being over, and there is a lot of stuff here that interests me on several levels that's not just related to this being a magical girl show and possible competitor. So first and foremost, let's summarize this show based on what their homepage itself is telling us. Princession Orchestra takes place in a wonderland known as Alice Pier.
Because, of course, Alice would launch a hostile takeover on this crazy bitch.
Though apparently she became just as crazy as her predecessor, as she renamed her subjects the Alicepians. Ego much? But one day, mysterious creatures known as the Jama-oku attacked and took over the land.
I knew one day the Ojama archetype would become meta.
Thus, it would fall upon the three princesses of our story to save this kingdom with their courage, energy, and pop songs. Yeah, going right into the staff listings of the show, we may as well point out how the original concept for this came from the mind of Akifumi Kaneko, one of the co-creators of Symphogear, the other creator being Noriyasu Agematsu, who's going to be the executive producer here. So yeah, ostensibly, this is just a spiritual successor to Symphogear, as even the trailers we'll get to in just a bit seem to confirm that it's going to feature our titular princesses fighting evil while singing a few hymns here and there.
It was an awesome concept back then, and is still an awesome one today, which, by the looks of it, I think even Toei is going to try to get their hands in on again.
Animation will be produced by Silverlink, which is low-key one of my favorite anime studios. I don't know, I just generally like how chill a lot of their shows turn out to be. It's nothing too actiony or dramatic, just a lot of slice of life, often with some fantasy elements to them. Not to say that they haven't delved into action or magical girls between the Fate Collade series and one of the most underrated girls from Jahi-sama. Uni really went through some rough times after Star Twinkle. They also often hire one of my favorite directors in the industry, Shin Unuma, who is going to lead this show. He has often been compared to Aki Kishimbo of Madoka Magica fame, as they do have a very similar artsy and quirky directorial style. Nowadays though, I do think he's found his own unique style that leads more to some very clean and smooth animation, with a lot of emphasis on the emotions of the characters, which I do appreciate.
Those listings alone excite me, but surprisingly, the one that actually interests me the most is the producers.
Not so much King Records, as they just have their hands in a ton of different anime, including Silverlink and of course Symphogear. No, the thing that got my attention was Takara Tomy, which, if you've been living under a rock, is one of Japan's biggest toy and game publishers.
Granted, you might be more familiar with their longtime rival Bandai, and personally, and while I do have a lot of their stuff, including a lot of Gunpla and other model kits from them, I do kind of more prefer Takara Tomy because of one specific toy line.
I bring this all up because 1, I do want to share my love for Transformers whenever I can, and 2, while the toys of this show are obviously going to be made by Takara Tomy, Bandai has been the longtime producers of the Precures toys. I find this interesting because it almost does feel like a case of history repeating itself, with Takara Tomy picking up toy scraps and doing their own thing like they did with the Transformers.
Yeah, fun fact, Toei Animation animated a good chunk of the original Transformers G1 cartoon, including of course the Sakuga Fest that was the 1986 movie.
But a falling out with Hasbro after said movie that allegedly was more on their part for not being very cooperative led to them dropping the franchise after they lost that backing and toy sales diminished. As a result, Takara Tomy needed to find a new home for all of their leftover Transformers toys and concepts, and found one at Sunrise, resulting in the Brave series.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know that Galaxy Convoy and Gao Gaigar were likely designed by the same person.
But yeah, while Toei obviously still owns the Precure franchise, I do find it interesting that they've ended up with another competitor in the toy market being helmed by their former partners at Takara Tomy. Obviously, time will tell who's going to sell better. Honestly, I do think that Precure is going to win out in the end, but based on personal experience, I'm just going to bet that Takara Tomy can build better quality toys than Bandai.
Fortunately, I am going to be taking a trip to Japan at the end of April, around the time when this show is going to start airing, so I should be able to pick up a few things for review and maybe some comparisons.
On that note, though, I guess we should get back into talking about the actual show, and while there have been multiple trailers for it, the second May 1-day release pretty much showed us all we really need, so we'll just stick with it, as we also look at the character bios. With that, we're immediately introduced to the leader of this group, Minamo Sorano, aka Princess Ripple, who in a nice change-up was a blue magical girl. And yeah, while she's not the first lead blue, with Sora in her name no less, her general personality also kind of leans more towards the blues in Precure and Super Sentai. She's a little shy, but has a strong heart and likes to cheer on people who try their best. So basically, she's more of a supporter than just a straightforward leader.
I kind of like the setup, as I do tend to gravitate towards the leaders who avoid the tendencies of the hot-headed leaders of most superhero teams. I mean, it's nothing innovative at this point, but it's at least a nice breakup.
Anyway, other notable aspects include her hobbies being sweets making and collecting cute stationaries, her favorite food is omelet rice based, and her catchphrase is, "It'll be all alright."
Please don't tell me you got that catchphrase from your deadbeat dad. I mean, he is listed in her family, but who's to say he's always there?
But yeah, I can't really comment on her and the rest of the princesses VAs, as they're still fairly new to this industry, with no other notable roles, and were likely chosen for their singing voices. That said, we can comment on their designs, and for a leader, I think Minamo is kinda bland. I mean, I think her civilian form is pretty decent, as I do actually really like her jacket. No, blue and white jackets just appeal to me, and the heart pockets are cute as hell. I do wonder what she's wearing under that, I'm guessing spats, but either way, this girl really likes to show off her legs. And of course, her hair bow bun thing is cute, and wisely carried over to her princess form, but the rest of it, yeah, it's kind of a mess. Her main leotard is just plain white, and she doesn't have enough accessories to break up that lack of color. Like, obviously, her main color is supposed to be blue, and yet why does she have so much yellow and red that doesn't really complement all that well? It's both kind of bland, and yet messy at the same time, leading to a not bad design, but just kind of eh. Following this, we then got the actual, literal, and figurative hothead of this team, Kagari Shirube, aka Princess Zeal. In spite of just being a second year in middle school, she's already known as the songstress of Alice Pier, who manages to captivate everyone with her singing and dancing. Yeah, that bio doesn't really tell us much, but going by the trailer, she seems to not only be the most aggressive fighter, but she also said that she'll always try to live up to the expectations of others. Part of that might have been because she's on a constant sugar rush, as both her bio and favorite food listings express her love for all sweets. Also, apparently she enjoys watching B-movies, which, hey, if anyone can unironically enjoy Sharknado, then they have my full backing. She also has probably my favorite designs of this main trio. I love her civilian design with this cute shoulderless blouse and long skirt. It's fashionable and yet also very functional. It's also possible that this more conservative look is meant to contrast with her princess form, which, yeah, forget Minamo, this girl has all of the Zentai Ryoki. She also has a lot more of her main color, with breakups of black, yellow, and purplish reds to complement her a lot more. She also seems to be the only one of her team who actually wears a crown to highlight how she's a princess, which, yeah, just makes you wonder why her partners don't have one. Last up was Nagase Ichijo, aka Princess Meteor.
Meteor, ready?
She's the kohai of the other two, with supposedly a lot of upside to her.
In short, she's a useful intern you don't have to pay.
And she tends to really trust in her intuition to the point that she'll go towards something without thinking about it much.
Well, at least the idiot character is only the third most important character in the show.
I kid, of course, as even in this brief bit of the trailer where she seems to defend her friend, it seems that she has a good heart to her at least. Plus, she likes anime, manga, and games, so she must be totally relatable to us, right? Oh wait, her favorite food is whatever's popular. Never mind, she's just a tourist. Still, she does have my second favorite designs after Kagari, as I do again like some good color breakup, and she is also distinctly designed to be more of a tomboy, with her leotard looking more like pants, and her civilian form just straight up wearing them. That one suspender down is a nice touch to get across her personality, and damn, those boots are sweet. Anyway, their mascot character is going to be this palette swap Shifo named Navue.
So he's the son of Bright Noah, and pilot's one of the most impractical Gundams ever.
But yeah, kind of your typical fairy mascot, with his main traits mostly just being his evil detecting ears, and the fact that he was voiced by Hiro Shimono. Like, don't get me wrong, I think he's a great VA and everything, but let's be honest, you try and listen to this and not think about fried chicken or Zenkichi. Last up, we'll just quickly go through the antagonists of the show, who, yeah, thankfully the show is going to have right off the bat, named the band Snatch. The leader was named Callisto, who both in this trailer and according to his bio was a very mysterious dude. He enjoys tea time, as well as a food created by someone from his past. Gee, I wonder if that, plus the fact that Minamo is a good cook, will be a significant plot point. Anyway, he's going to be played by Chiaki Kobayashi, who I'm not too familiar with, other than that he was involved with one of my favorite duels from Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. Next up was Gita, who likely went rogue after ditching Yui, and is described as having a childish and troublemaking personality in his bio. Next up was Base, or Haruto as I'm just gonna call him, because apparently he likes plain sugar donuts. But yeah, you don't even have to read his bio to get the idea that this guy was the calm and collected member of his team, even though ironically, his VA, Junya Enoki, isn't known for playing any guys with any sort of chill, like Yuji Itadori, or one of the best versions of Popko ever. Last up was Doran, and yeah, if you couldn't tell, all of these guys were named after musical instruments, and this guy was the drummer of his team. And it says here that he was so good with them that he could even knit with his drumsticks. Don't know why you would want to do that, but you do you, dude. Anyway, he's going to be played by Shunsuke Takeuchi, who was also in Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, playing the main rival, Revolver, and Gonta Gokuhara from Danganronpa 3. Yeah, dude, you best stay away from the rabbit, who kind of sounds like Kokichi Oma.
But yeah, that's all we really have to say for Princession Orchestra for now, and I'm really on board for it.
Granted, it's still a little hard to fully judge the show based on what this trailer is giving us, as honestly, it's rather minimal both in terms of getting across the feel for the fights and these characters. However, being familiar with the works of everyone involved has me interested based on past works at least. I thoroughly enjoyed Sinful Gear and Bakutes, which were dubbed by the creators and director respectively of the show. Thus, I would love to see a combination of the two, which the show seems to be shaping up to be. I'm also actually interested in the toys, as I do like Takara Tomy's products. I will likely buy the Jewel Bell, and whatever Idol Precure will put out just to have a side-by-side comparison, and also look like a total nerd in the checkout line. But yeah, I do see a lot of promise with this show, and we will review it come April of next year.
Look forward to it, and of course our reviews for it. And until then though, for now my friends, and if you'll excuse me, I think I'm going to iron my new wardrobe for 2025.